Welcome to Politics Done Right. I am your host, Egberto Willies. This is a progressive program that will take the mystery out of politics. This is the program that will encourage you to make sure government becomes we the people. Whether you are liberal, progressive, conservative, or otherwise, you get to air your point of view. We are an independent media outlet that, unlike mainstream media beholden to corporations, we only owe allegiance to you. Remember, you can also send me a tweet at EGBERTOWILLIES. That is at Egberto Willies. Let us engage. It is Politics Done Right. Well, folks, welcome to one more edition of Politics Done Right. I'm Egberto Willies, your host. Thank you so kindly for being a part of the show. We are going to have a great show for you today. We are going to be, look, we have a lot to expose, right? Because as it turns out right now, folks, you have politicians that are trying to do things to take advantage of the coronavirus. They're trying to do things to maximize for a few all that's happening with the coronavirus. Now, we have a multi-front battle that we must fight. And at the same time, we have to keep ourselves empowered. We have to keep ourselves in the modal that we're not going to sit back and feel defenseless to a virus. We're not going to sit back and feel defensive at all. Hola, ¿cómo estás, Ashley Moses? Mosley, how are you, Michael Rudnin? We are not going to sit back and feel powerless. You know, I saw somebody on TV, a friend of mine, she's been sending texts, and right now she's feeling down. This stuff can hurt you. Yes, it can, but do remember, most people who are going to get this, they're going to go through hell for a few, and then they'll be fine. Yes, a few will die, but what we have to do is work on isolating ourselves. I'm in Harris County, Texas, the county where Houston resides, and we just went down on lockdown officially. Our bars have been closed, many of our stores have been closed, but officially today, Lina Hidalgo, our 29-year-old judge, I'm so proud of this woman, the way she has been conducting herself, leading the county in making sure that all people in this county remain healthy, that we follow methodologies that will keep us all alive, to put it bluntly. But anyhow, folks, without any further ado, let me just tell you, empower yourself. As you stay at home, share these programs. We are going to be talking about these issues. Please note as well, please feel free. If you want to talk, call us 646-716-5812. Again, that number is 646-716-5812. If you're listening to this on podcast, whether on iTunes or Stitcher or all the other streaming, and you want to contact me or ask any questions, remember, always send email to info@politicsdoneright.com, info@politicsdoneright.com. What I want to ask you right now, however, if you're just joining us, if you're just checking in, please, 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 please share us. It is imperative if we want to make sure to have a difference. Now, Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer and McDonald's and Mnuchin, they're all out there trying to come up with a deal for a stimulus package. Of course, we don't just have a whole bunch of progressives out there that understand what America needs. We have a whole lot of people who are looking out for the interests of others. Well, we have to make sure that our interests are taken care of. I am proud to say that all the progressive organizations, all the calls that you've been making, the unions from the flight attendants and all these other folks have been forcing the hands of their politicians. But as you can see right now, we have a head of state that is not qualified for the job. And what I want to do, the first thing, before we get into the program officially, I want to play a few things for you. Specifically, I want to show you a video, first of all, that we did, where this president, is attempting in his wording, right? He's attempting to brainwash Americans into somehow believing that the only way we can attain anything Again, this is a brainwash. Now, remember that is how it has to operate. This is a brainwash. He's trying to tell you guys the only way things can go right, the only way we can get out of this is if you remember that he is president and only he can solve the problem. Let's check this out.
We're at war. In a true sense, we're at war. And we're fighting an invisible enemy. Think of that. For those of you who are feeling alone and isolated, I want you to know that we are all joined together as one people, eternally linked by our shared national spirit. We love our country. For those worried and afraid, please know as long as I am your president, you can feel confident that you have a leader who will always fight for you. And I will not stop until we win. This will be a great victory. This is going to be a victory. And it's going to be a victory that, in my opinion, will happen much sooner than originally expected. It's now attacking. The enemy is attacking.
Now, the reason I played that, I really wanted folks to see how these psychological cues work. They're putting that in your head. I mean, a lot of people say, sure, whatever. But deep in your head, what is occurring right now for a lot of people, especially those that are easily triggered by whatever somebody tells them, it plants a seed. Only Donald Trump. And Donald Trump has strength. And Donald Trump is strong. Even if you don't like him, Donald Trump is strong. Remember, Donald Trump is nothing but a paper tiger. Donald Trump is nothing but a paper tiger. Do not ever forget that. A paper tiger, big mouth, big representation, very little value to provide us. But anyhow, later he would try. You know, we know that that it's going very wrong. We know that it's going very wrong. Now, he wants you to believe that he has absolutely nothing to do with how the performance of his response to coronavirus is actually taking place. It's not his fault. Guess whose fault it is? Listen to what Donald Trump now had to say about what was there before. This is how the liar-in-chief is really attempting to change the conversation to that he had to come in and fix a government that he destroyed, and why it is now the private sector stepping up. Check this out.
Just so you know, just for the probably 100th time, this administration, inherited an obsolete, broken, old system that wasn't meant for this. We discarded that system, and we now have a new system that can do millions of people as you need them. But we had to get rid of a broken old system that didn't work. It worked only on a very limited basis. And we're very proud of what we've done. It's incredible what we've done. And this system will now serve for the future, for future problems. Hopefully you don't have a problem like this, but something will come up. We have now a great system, and it's almost fully in gear, but it's able to test millions of people. But we inherited a broken, old, frankly, a terrible system. We fixed it, and we've done a great job. And we haven't been given the credit that we deserve, that I can tell you. But the one that really deserves the credit are the American people, because they are doing things that nobody thought they would do. What they're doing is incredible, and we're making a lot of progress, and we'll see you folks tomorrow. Thank you very much.
This is a president in office for 3 years and 2 months. Today makes it 3 years and 2 months. He only has 10 more months in office. So he's well over the half of his administration. And to come out and say the reason we were not able to handle this pandemic, it was because he was left a bad system. But no, the system now is yours. You've been there 3 years and 2 months. And not only that, you disbanded the pandemic department. So how do you explain that it is somebody else's fault? Talk about irresponsibility. He is trying to put that narrative into those who have a shallow mind and just believe his word. He needed to say something that sounded plausible to the uninformed. Well, you know what our job is, my brothers and my sisters? It is our job to inform. It is our job to make sure there are not a whole lot of folks that are uninformed. That is your job. That is my job. That is our job. Because all those people that are going to buy the crap up, they are our brothers and sisters as well. I'm Egberto Willies, host of Politics Done Right, an independent news program. I post several news videos. I have to cut those pieces out because somehow I don't clip the thing right at the right time. Anyhow, folks, so going forward, as you can see, what he's trying to do is in effect, what he tried to do was blame President Obama for his failure, which any thinking person knows immediately that that's not the case. Now, yesterday, something interesting happened in the press conference, right, that he gave. And I want to play this. This is sort of outside the domain of the show today, but I want to play this because it shows you the kind of person that we have in this president. It shows something very, very, very important. It shows you that for him, words are something that has no staying power. It has no real meaning. And for anyone who listens to what he says and think whatever he says today may somehow have value, they're fooling themselves. Now, businessmen can do that. Business persons can do that, right? Because they know that the guiding light of this president is whatever is good for him. And all these business persons know what to do to give that impression to him. But what I want you to listen to is check this out, because he has a Chinese problem. The GOP has a Chinese problem. I'm saying Chinese, quote unquote, sort of that kind of a problem. Check this out and we'll take it on the other side.
Thank you for being here. America continues to mobilize every segment of our society to turn the tide in the battle against the virus. It's very important that we totally protect our Asian American community in the United States and all around the world. They're amazing people, and the spreading of the virus is not their fault in any way, shape, or form.
What prompted you to say at the beginning of your comments that you're going to take care of the Asian Americans? Has there been something in particular that was?
Yeah, because it seems that there could be a little bit of nasty language toward the Asian Americans in our country, and I don't like that at all. These are incredible people. They love our country, and I'm not going to let it happen. So I just wanted to make that point. Because they're blaming China. People are blaming China, and they are making statements to great American citizens that happen to be of Asian heritage, and I'm not going to let that happen. And I'd like to begin by providing an update on what we are doing to minimize the impact of the Chinese virus on our nation's students.
Why do you keep calling this the Chinese virus? There are reports of dozens of incidents of bias against Chinese Americans in this country. Your own aide, Secretary Azar, says he does not use this term. He says ethnicity does not cause the virus. Why do you keep using this? A lot of people say it's racist.
It's not racist at all. No, not at all. It comes from China. That's why. Comes from China.
A person at the White House used the term Kung flu. And do you think using the term Chinese virus, that puts Asian Americans at risk, that people might target them?
No. Well, I think China is to blame because the culture where people eat bats and snakes and dogs and things like that, these viruses are transmitted from the animal to the people, and that's why China has been the source of a lot of these viruses like SARS, like MERS, the swine flu.
I'm Egberto. Of course, what it seems to not know that MERS really stands for Middle Eastern, not Asian or Chinese, right? But, we're talking about these guys who don't have much upstairs other than their inherent prejudices and other things, right? That's all they are really known for. And they have no further interest in getting better, in improving their thought process, improving their minds or anything like. They have no desire. That's the difference between a progressive and somebody that doesn't want to have any sort of progressive within themselves. And I'm talking, you have conservatives that have progressive values. But there are those who are just stuck in their, they are wedded to their ignorance. And once you become wedded to your ignorance, that's not much one can do about that. Not much one can do about that. All right, moving on. I want you, as it turns out, the title of the show today, and this is important that I get to it in the wording that I got to it with the title. The title of the show today is Coronavirus Exposes Politicians Who Value the Economy at the Expense of Humanity. Right? I really want to call that out. Coronavirus exposes politicians who value the economy at the expense of humanity. Very, very important. In the last 2 days, the callousness of the Trump cabal became evident. It is clear these politicians have little concern for working Americans. They want those bodies working to keep their capital appreciating. Coronavirus, be damned. And what I'm going to do today is I'm going to show three distinct videos. The first one is going to be with Ali Velshi with a montage of what the president had to say, along with what the governor of New York was talking about. And the reason why I want to bring this in is simply because it shows you that this evil is calculated. A lot of people may say, oh, this person have an offhand remark when they said, oh, we need to revive the economy and just to be damned, coronavirus, be damned. We don't care about, people may think you are overreacting to what this one person says or whatever. But when you see it's systemic, when you see it forms a part of their philosophy, then you understand what the fight is all about. Then you understand why you have to fight. Then you understand why it is important for you to get this done. So check this out. This is Ali Velshi just played this a few minutes ago. And what I want to do is, let me see how to say this. Ali Velshi just played this a few minutes ago. And it is important that we go ahead and air this. And then we're going to see sort of, if you think this is some accident or whatever, it is not. Folks, if you're just joining us, please, please, please share these programs. It is imperative that we share. And why is it imperative? Because the mainstream media is not telling you all. They're telling you what they can. They can tell you from the perspective that it is, but they can't tell you, they can't go into certain types of analysis even though they know it. It's not that they don't know it, but they can't do it because, well, they're getting advertising dollars, etc., etc., etc. But check this out from Velchi.
As the number of coronavirus cases and deaths in the United States continue to grow, President Trump says he wants America back to work. During a virtual town hall on Fox News this afternoon, the president says he wants to get things up and running again in the next few weeks.
We've had flus before. We've had viruses before. So this is something new. And this is why I say we have to, I gave it 2 weeks. And I guess by Monday or Tuesday, it's about 2 weeks. And we'll assess at that time, and we'll give it some more time if we need a little more time. But we have to open this country. I would love to have the country opened up, and they're just raring to go by Easter.
Easter is April 12th. It is now March 24th. It's less than 3 weeks away. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, whose state has the highest number of coronavirus cases in the country, sharply disagreed with the president's view.
If you ask the American people to choose between public health and the economy, then it's no contest. No American is going to say, accelerate the economy at the cost of human life. Because no American is going to say how much a life. Job one has to be save lives.
Okay, folks, so you understand what just happened there. Donald Trump and all his cabal, they understand that the economy is in free fall. Is that a good thing? It's a terrible thing. But guess what an economy in free fall means? It means that we are all staying home. It means that we're no longer spending a lot of money with the corporatocracy, right? And I'm not complaining about spending the money with the corporatocracy. I am all for people going on cruises. I'm all for people going to Vegas and spending their money to have fun. I'm all for doing all the things that both small business and corporations bring to us. I am all for that. I am a free enterprise person. Most of us that call ourselves, you know what kind of Democrats are, we believe strongly in free enterprise with a strong social safety net. We believe that. We want corporations to do well, but we want them to do well responsibly. We want small businesses to do well. We want them to do well responsibly. Shutting down a city or a town for a month or two is going to dig a huge hole. Yes, probably a 20 to 30% hole in our GDP. Is that a bad thing? No, it's not. I mean, we're still alive. We're still at home with family. We're still doing things that we otherwise wouldn't do. We're slowing things down. This thing that we always have to live in a society that we're moving forward and forward and forward and forward and forward and forward and forward. It's growth. It's no need, right? I am saying growth in this country, the only people that benefit from this infinite growth that we talk about are the stockholders, right? People that are generally contributing nothing material, nothing intellectual, nothing physical to society. That's who benefit from or who need to have on growing all of the times. Let me give an example, and then I'm going to go on, but I need you to understand this, because for all of those who are panicking, oh, the economy is in a stall, and now it's going to crap, it's going down. That's not true. The economy is in a pause. Is that a bad thing? No. Is that a fatal thing? No. Will that restrict the power of America or the power of any other country? No. What it has done, has magnificently reduced consumption. Consumption. What are we? Consumers. And what it's going to show, and let me tell you what is a big fear. A lot of Americans are going to be home now. A lot of Americans are going to be with family now. A lot of Americans are going to be doing their own cooking again now. A lot of Americans are going to start seeing that they can do stuff differently. And all the advertising that have had them spending, that have programmed them, indoctrinated them, that they all had to do certain things, the commercials that you see on TV and all, you're suddenly going to realize, I can live a simpler life. Is that going to affect you personally? Yes, it'll make you better, your blood pressure lower, etc., etc. Who are the people that are going to be most affected if we decided we wanted a simpler form of life? It's going to be those who owns the corporatocracy, the ones who do nothing. You know why? Because guess what? They're realizing now. The Americans should have always known this, but specifically the owners of corporations who always think they are the masters and they are on top are finally going to realize that the people in power are us. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a better union, we are the ones. We are the ones that run everything. We are the ones that make everything happen. We are the one that is in power. Do you know why it was so easy for Mitt Romney to say, let's give every American $1,000? Or $1,200 or whatever it is they're going to give. These are people that don't want to give any money because they figured that if we give the masses a few dollars, it comes out of the pocket of the corporatocracy as we pay more taxes. But what they know is, the truth is, a dollar spent accelerated by the amount of times it turns around creates a great GDP, right? And now that we are faltering, and now that people are not working, now that they can't extract the last dollar out of people, what they want to do is they want to give you that extra money so that you can put it back into the economy and they can continue to make the money that they make. Look, we're all interdependent. We are all interdependent. We all depend on each other. The delta, the difference in wages, the difference in capital that the people at the top have is unwarranted. It's undeserved. Folks, if you're just joining us, please, please, please share these programs. It is so important. All those wealthy people in the top 1%, the top 0.1%, the top 5%, a lot of it is undeserved wealth People say, oh, that is wealth envy. And I don't envy anything. Personally, if personally, Egberto, personally, with the skills that this country has awarded me via the taxpayer dollar to go to one of the best universities, University of Texas, have afforded me to have done a whole lot of things. Now, when the fork came in life, one can decide, I want to be that of the corporatocracy and go ahead and just make unlimited money as I screw everybody else. Or I can say, you know what? Why not do something that you can look in the mirror and say, damn, I've done a good thing. And a lot of people are doing that. A lot of people are going for the simpler life now. A lot of people are saying, let me do something that makes a difference. I've got kids. I want to do something that my kid can be proud of. I want to do something that's going to make life better for my kid. Right? And in doing so, it's so much better than a whole bunch of money sitting down in your account or whatever, right? Because after all, what's there? You know, can't go with it. But anyhow, when you see what's going on here, people talking about, oh, maybe it's an accident that the president is talking about getting the economy back open. It is by design, people. It is by design. Do not allow any of this to fool you. They want the economy back open irrespective of your health. If you die or you get sick, guess what? Somebody else makes more money of you being sick. In other words, look, the one thing that we are good at, right, is monetizing everything. We have monetized sickness to the nth degree. We've found ways to take all of your money away from you. By you, every disposable dollar that you have, the plutocracy will find a way to take it. And if they don't take it while you are alive, they have created a system, a medical system, that when you're in hospice and all these things, they find a way to take it when you're gone. It's called taking your estate away from you. So I want people to understand that all of this is by design. But I want to play something for you that occurred today on TV. And it shows you the evil within. It shows you what matters. It's something that happened with Nancy Pelosi and Steven Mnuchin. And please, listen to this, and also please share these things. Because a lot of people are brainwashed into believing that when these guys come on TV and smile with you and talk about, we want growth so that all Americans can do good, a rising whatever raises all boats. It's not true. It's not true, especially if the boat has an anchor on it. But check this out now. I want you to listen to this and then I'll get back with you. I really had to do a double take on this one because you would think that these people would know better, but I guess when you are under the influence of a particular presidency that has really changed what is normal, people say the strangest things, whether they think it or not. But this one is to the core. Nancy Pelosi wanted this message out. A lot of people will say, oh, maybe she slipped and told about a conversation that happened behind closed doors, but she wanted this out. And when you hear this, you'll see exactly why.
When we had our meeting on, this is about who has the leverage. The leverage has to be balanced and that workers have a strong role. I know corporations create business. We want everyone to succeed. We root for the stock market to go up. We're all on common ground on that. But a lot of the success of our country stems from our workers and the reliability they have that they continue to be employed in a time, especially at a time like this. So on Sunday when we met, Mnuchin, the M's, Mnuchin, McConnell, McCarthy, and then Chuck and I said, well, since it's Sunday morning, I want to quote His Holiness Pope Francis. And Pope Francis' world prayer was that those who have the responsibility for the care of people would be enlightened to take responsibility. And I think that's what we have to do, take responsibility. I think there's been a lack of taking responsibility. However, when I quoted Pope Francis, then Mnuchin said, well, you're quoting the Pope. I'm going to quote the markets. I thought he was going to quote the Old Testament or something. I'm going to quote the markets. Well, I think it spelled out how we have to come together with common values for the success of people to bubble up for the success of our economy, because we are a consumer economy. Now, I do think that the light at the end of the tunnel has to be a cure, and we have to get there as soon as possible. Science-based, evidence-based decision-making about testing and again, research to get a cure. If we continue to sort of just change one day to the next about how decisions are made and not based on science, that light at the end of the tunnel could be the proverbial train coming at us. But I do think that we have the best minds working 24/7, all hands on deck, to get to a place that is the best message of all, that there is a cure.
If you want to understand the callousness of our economic system, check out President Trump's press conference yesterday, where all he talks about is opening the economy, because it could be worse than the cure. Of course, they don't get it that the economy will continue to falter if people continue to get sick. Then we have the Texas Lieutenant Governor yesterday. In effect, he said, old people don't mind dying to save the economy for their grandchildren. I mean, a silly statement. What he's really trying to say is, hey, we need you to get back to work. Old people, be damned. And now we have Mnuchin. I mean, to show you this is not an accident, the way these guys are talking about, just move on with the economy, be damned. Now we have Mnuchin saying, you know what? You can quote the Pope about taking responsibility for other people. I am going to quote the markets. That should let people know where they stand with the people they support, claiming or believing that those people have their best interests at hand. Don't tell me what you're gonna do. Show me what you're doing. Folks, I hope you got that. Before I go to the next video and before I take the call, I just want to, we're at past the halfway show, so I want to remind all our good people that this is a show that needs your support. So I ask you so kindly to visit our store at store.politicsdoneright.com. Go to store.politicsdoneright.com. Please remember also we are looking for subscribers. We need a whole lot of subscribers, and our subscription rates are very, very low. So please support us. Go to patreon.com, patreon.com/politicsdoneright. Again, that is patreon.com/politicsdoneright. Alternatively, you can support our equipment fund. You know, when this coronavirus thing is over and we're back on the road, gofundme.com/independent-media-upgrade. Again, that is gofundme.com/independent-media-upgrade. And if you want to be a contributor to the show as well, let's say you don't necessarily want a membership, go ahead and you can go to paypal.me/politicsdoneright. Again, that is paypal.me/politicsdoneright. So please, what we really want, we need about 1,000 subscribers so we can get some help here. I need a whole lot of help cutting up videos and doing all those kinds of things. Again, visit our store, store.politicsdoneright.com. On the screen, you can see all the different things that we have scrolling. Caller at 407. If you want to speak, please go ahead and push the number 1 so that I know that you want to come in. And what I'll do is, if you hit 1 now, I'll take your call before I go to the next video. Thank you so kindly, folks. Please go ahead and share the program. Okay, let me go ahead and pick up this phone here, and then we'll go with the last video after I take your call. Caller from 407, you're hot.
Hello?
Yes, you're hot. Go ahead.
Hey, what's up? Thank you for calling me hot, but the coronavirus, right? That's the topic we're talking about right now?
Well, we're talking about the coronavirus and how it's affecting the political system and also bringing out quite a bit of the evil within many of our politicians. Would you like to add to that, sir?
Oh, yeah. I think that's very accurate because people are really starting to lose their minds right now, if you know what I mean, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, they're just reading these things off the internet, and, like someone said, like, when you get coronavirus, you also get this other thing called ligma. Do you know what ligma is?
No, I don't.
Apparently it's like ligma balls or something like that.
Okay. Anything else you want to add, sir? Boy, I tell you. Every now and then, that happens. But you know what? It's 646-716-5812. Folks, if you want to give us a call at 646-716-5812. 1, 2, if you want to add to the discussion. I know, Senor Rodnin, that was in fact funny. And then after I play this video, I will go to the board and start answering your questions and picking that up. But anyhow, check this out. You are not going to believe this. Dan Patrick, the Lieutenant Governor of Texas, believed that old people probably prefer to die than to somehow affect the economy. You got to listen to this to believe it, and then we'll take it on the other side.
You know, Tucker, no one reached out to me and said, as a senior citizen, are you willing to take a chance on your survival in exchange for keeping the America that all America loves for your children and grandchildren? And if that's the exchange, I'm all in. And that doesn't make me noble or brave or anything like that. I just think there are lots of grandparents out there in this country, like me, I have 6 grandchildren, that what we all care about and what we love more than anything are those children. And I want to, you know, live smart and see through this, but I don't want the whole country to be sacrificed. And that's what I see. I've talked to hundreds of people, Tucker, and just in the last week, and making calls all the time. And everyone says pretty much the same thing, that we can't lose our whole country. We're having an economic collapse. I'm also a small businessman. I understand it. And I talk with business people all the time, Tucker. And my heart is lifted tonight by what I heard the president say, because we can do more than, you know, one thing at a time. We can do 2 things. So, you know, my message is that let's get back to work. Let's get back to living. Let's be smart about it. And those of us who are 70 plus, we'll take care of ourselves, but don't sacrifice the country. Don't do that. Don't ruin this great American dream.
So you're basically saying that this disease could take your life, but that's not the scariest thing to you. There's something that would be worse than dying.
Yeah.
Dan Patrick, Lieutenant Governor of Texas. Let me tell you something about Texas. They care so much about their grandkids. They care so much about the younger people, right? Oh, they care. No, folks, let me tell you, this is a whole lot of rich people that are saying, oh my God, we are finally realizing that we can only be rich if those slaves underneath there, those employees underneath there, those people underneath there come back to work. Please, people, come back to work. Let's get the facts straight. Dan Patrick, that same lieutenant governor, denies Texas the Medicaid expansion to the Affordable Care Act, that which would have saved a whole lot of his grandchildren in Texas. It would have saved a whole lot of young people in Texas. But these rich people didn't want to pay 10%, which is what it cost them after the government paid 100% for Medicaid expansion for the Affordable Care for the first 3 years. Texas would only be responsible for 10%. You would think that somebody who's telling all Americans, come back to work, we older people don't mind dying in order to keep this economy going, would at least have said, if I care so much about the young people, if I cared so much about my grandchildren, oh, we would go ahead. Medicaid expansion to the Affordable Care come to give 1 million Texans the opportunity to have health care. But that's not what they're doing, folks. These guys understand that you are responsible for economic growth. You are responsible for their riches. They are not willing to give you health care. They're not willing to give you family leave. They're not willing to give you forgiveness for your student debt. They're not willing to give you tuition-free college. But they want you back on that roll. And they claim, oh, we don't mind dying to help the rest because we don't want to leave a tanked economy for the rest of the people. It is hogwash. All those people that are telling you that, coronavirus will not kill them. Coronavirus will not cause them harm. Know why? Because they have the health care, the best health care money can buy. And the first sign of a coronavirus, they will be on respirators. They will be on antiviral. They will get the best care. But the average 70-year-old that they're saying is willing to die for the economy, they won't get a cent. Folks, don't buy the crap. The reality is we need to be in quarantine as long as it takes. We need to use a modern monetary theory to reinflate the economy when it's time to reinflate the economy. And we need to change and transform this economy into an economy that supports us all. We've been talking about a failed economic system for a very long time. This just proves it. These guys want to prolong it. No, America, we don't want to get rid of our 70-year-olds. No, America, we want to support all Americans. Okay. I hope you enjoyed that one. The thing about it is, last night when I saw that clip from Tucker Carlson, I almost passed out. Because you know what this guy was trying to do with grandparents, right? Grandparents love their grandkids. They also would do I know there are people who grew up with grandparents who would take the shirt off their back. They would freeze to keep their grandkids warm. And remember what I told you about putting subliminal messages into people's minds, right? This is one of those where the person would want, Dan Patrick and others would want to put into these people's minds, come on, stand up, old people, stand up. People in your 70s, help create that message that starts that snowball into people saying, yes, let's open the economy. And if the older people, the ones who are more susceptible to die, are saying, let's open the economy, we should. They are the stalwarts of our system. We should. And me, Dan Patrick, an older person as well, I am willing to sacrifice for my kids. That's not true. They have never been willing to sacrifice. They are cutting things like food for the kids in school and all of. I thought they cared. Don't let them fool you. Can't say what they care about is solely economics. Nothing more, nothing less. Okay, let me go through these lists real fine because it looks like I'm going to only have about 16 minutes. So here we go. Michael Rudnin says, first of all, let me salute everybody. Michael Rudnin, Ashley Mosley, Ryan Featherstone, Lee Grant, welcome aboard. Mike Cisak, welcome aboard. Avian Q, welcome aboard. Some of these are Facebook, some of these are Periscope, some of these are YouTube. Let's see who else is here. Okay, let's scroll down. Francis Lopez, welcome aboard. Let's see, Dwayne Bradley, KPFT, former KPFT director, manager, all that good stuff. Welcome aboard. Thank you, buddy. Let's see who else is here. Danielle Ledoux, my favorite attacker, but still love you, Daniel. Let's see, and Michael Cisak. Well, I don't think Michael Cisak is more measured. Lawrence Sims, welcome aboard. Let's see who else is here. I'm missing a whole bunch. Kanduris Kazuts, welcome aboard. And I don't have the rest. Okay, let's go ahead and start answering some of these stuff. Michael Rudnin says, depraved idiocy will lead to millions of unnecessary deaths. The pandemic is only getting started. We're looking to another 4 months. You're absolutely right. Trump suggested at today's briefing that social distancing restrictions will be lifted fairly soon and that the U.S. has learned enough lessons to reopen the economy despite the pandemic. I am not looking at months. I tell you that right now. Let me look. I get that what you wrote, Rudnin. I am not, Rudnin calls it idiocy. I don't think, Rudnin, that's how we have to look at it. I think at this point, it's not idiocy, it's evil. I mean, it has, let me go to Mike Cisak's point, because I never get upset on air, I never get upset in public, but when I see the evil emanating from these people and knowing what it's going to do to Americans and progressives like us know the truth, right? But when I see those that are confused or convinced by the idiocy, convinced by the alternate reality, it hurts. And I mean, it genuinely hurts me because I know these people and I know these are good people. That they're wired differently to accept this sort of idiocy gets to me. I know these people. They're not bad people. I love these people, man. I talk to them all the time. Avangia Q says, okay, now I know that FB to YouTube comments limits 4 lines. Not enough. You're right. Okay, Michael Run says, only I can fix it. Yeah, you remember that's what, but it got him elected, not with a majority, but with enough. Okay, Michael Run, Trump fired the response team who could have helped prepare the nation for the pandemic. That is true. And Michael Cisak said that's been debunked. It has not been debunked, Mr. Cisak. It has not been debunked. I've looked it up. It has not been debunked. Even in the link that you provide from Snopes, that's not been debunked. All right. They moved back their respective agencies to streamline things. Come on. Come on, sir. Come on. Replying, you have to realize in the government you don't really get fired unless you do something wrong. You're reassigned. Reassigned is almost like being fired in the federal government. And you've said that before on my show. Okay. All right. When you're talking bad about the government, that is. All right. When it's not Trump's government, I mean. All right. Did you read it before sharing? From your own facts, it said fired. Maybe a little strong, but in 2018, that is what I was trying to tell Mr. Cisak. That even in a link that he provided, because I've read that link before, not now, but I've read it before, Snopes agreed that it is a true statement. All right, let's see. Michael Rudnin says, let me move on to that. Robert Bowen, I don't know if I said you, hi. His MAGA hats come from his MAGA hats come from China. Yeah, that's how he says it, China. So those hats are China hats. Oh my God! I mean, I can't believe it. Let's see, what other thing? Now Mike says Snopes is an opinion site. I guess opinion that is. I am an opinion blogger. I'm an opinion news person because I tell you the truth, and I give you my opinion, or I go ahead and expand on that based on all these years I've lived on the earth. And so far, not to pat on the back, but from prognosticating Trump's election to others, it hasn't been too bad, Mr. Cisak. Rudnin says, oh, that was an answer to Cisak. Okay, let's see. Media Bias Fact Check is also a leftist site. No, it's not. Let me tell you. By the way, Media Bias Fact Check rates egbertowillies.com as actually very truthful and all that good stuff. I just thought I might tell our audience that in case somebody on this network starts to tell you that my opinions or that my site isn't a truthful site. The reality is we were rated by Media Bias Fact Check as being very, very truthful. Check it out. And by the way, that is mediafactcheck. I don't remember, mediabiasfactcheck.org or I don't remember if it's .org or .com. Anyhow, let's see what else. Tim Morrison, former top NSC official, writes, no, the White House didn't dissolve the pandemic. All right, I am not going to begrudge or continue to try to beat a dead horse. Mr. Cisak, you are simply wrong. Love you, but you're wrong. Dwayne Bradley, keep up the great work. Dwayne, coming from you, that means a lot, Mr. Radio Man. Let's see. Michael Rudnin says, I'm fairly impressed by Governor Cuomo. Yeah, I don't like Cuomo for his neoliberalism, but as far as his leadership ability, as far as how he has been managing the coronavirus, I think it is so. Think about if we had our governor from Texas in New York with what was happening. New York is a high density place, a place where people are coming in from all over. I think his management has been impeccable. And I mean, I was just so impressed with Governor Cuomo. I think Governor Cuomo is getting ready to run for president. The truth of the matter is, in as much as he's a neoliberal as well, I'll take him over Biden because I think Biden looked horrendous yesterday on his on that speech that he gave. You know, but those, you know, my bias. I'm a Bernie guy because I believe in the policies Bernie stands for. I think more and more we are going, whether Bernie wins or not, we are going to be implemented Bernie policies in the short term because that's the only way, MMT, you're going to reinvigorate this economy, my brothers and my sisters. Okay, Mike says, Egberto, you aren't a free enterprise system. I beg to differ. I've been a free enterprise system. I've had so many different businesses. By the way, I've been in business for myself for over 30 years. So just want to let you know, and I believe in free enterprise 100%. I also believe in paying all my taxes. And I believe in paying a good share of my income in taxes because I am very thankful to a country whose people used to pay the taxes required to keep a society functional, efficient, and working. What we got since Reagan is a dereliction of duty of government. And when you talk about government being the problem, government became the problem after Ronald Reagan. Government started solving problems when we started seeing reasons for government to usurp the portions of the private sector that didn't belong there. That's a fact, Jack. Okay, Daniel Ledosa just got here. Did I miss Egberto ripping Pelosi and Schumer new ones over their political games with the stimulus? Not at all. If it wasn't for Pelosi, the stimulus would be a mess. Pelosi's doing a darn good job. Michael Rudnin, I wonder how the economy will adjust after millions of Americans die over the next 2 years. Consider for a moment the grim math. There are 330 million Americans, 7% of which will contract the virus, and about 3.4 mortality rate, 7.8 million Americans. I guess the undertaker is going to make a lot of money. Maybe those are the stock prices that are going to start going up, sadly. Daniel Edo, hey, Egberto, how do I pay my mortgage living the simple life? The same way I paid my mortgage living a free enterprise life. You can do it. A simple life is not staying home and doing nothing. A simple life is working. You either work for yourself or you work for somebody else. And if for some reason there's not work available in neither one, there's a social safety net. That is how a real humane society operates. Everybody I know wants to work. I work 16 to 18 hours a day. I could have sat down and kept writing software and working on licenses and made quite a bit more money. Now my income comes from subscriptions to a show that makes a very little bit of money, but with a hell of a lot of work to cut up all these videos, to write all these blogs. So yeah, a simple life you can survive. You're not gonna survive you're not gonna live a lavish life, but you know what? In the old days, I did some of that, and the happiest you are is when you're doing things for people, when you're doing things with people. A lot of people are going to realize that after this pandemic, because they're going to realize as soon as the pandemic releases some and they start to circulate among most of the people that they like, the ones that they like, the ones that they share interests with, they're going to realize that, wow, a simple life is that. You know, during Fund Drive at KPFT, I get up in the mornings and had to get into the traffic, and hundreds of thousands of people are on the road. And I'm saying, they always talk about Americans not wanting to work. Bull. It's bull. Americans are the hardest workers on this planet. Okay, let me go through this real quick. I got to get through. I only have about 4 minutes of this to do. Okay, let's see. Michael Run, nope, lies. Let's see. Egberto personally envious of those who make more than he does. Again, Mike, you should really know me. You should know that there's very little that I'm ever envious. Actually, there's not. I have dissolved the envious bone in my body years ago. Years ago. Envy is a human trait. Usually it's a trait because of a feeling of self-inferiority. That's why you get envy. When you envy somebody for having something, it means that you believe them having something is a part of their being, is a part of who makes them. When you start to believe in yourself, and when you start to believe that material things, and this takes a while, especially in our country, right? When you really come to the realization that material things is not what makes a person, that is why I give the same value to my garbage man as I ever gave to, in the olden days, a stockbroker. Because I realize humanity has little to do with profession. Humanity has little to do with what you do in your life. So when I'm talking to the garbage man or the secretary or the person sweeping a floor, or that person that is a president of a corporation, and I speak to them all, I never think of the corporate president as more valuable than the person sweeping the street. A lot of people, I remember one time my daughter saw me interviewing a vice president and she said, "Dad, do you know who you are talking to?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And she's like, I'm like, "So what? Put their pants on like me, they bleed like me, they do." When you reach to that stage in your life where you believe you are absolutely everybody's equal, not a cent ahead of them or a cent behind them. That is when you know you've really become when humanity really means something. So the thing about it is I envy no one. Zero envy for anyone. Okay, hey, Mr. Blue Collar, I know you haven't worked in a week. Who knows? You get back to while you're, I don't know what you're talking about there. But anyway, Dwayne called the person who called up a juvenile delinquent. Michael Rudden said, whoa, how many people are going to die for the advice? You know that. Dan used to be a Blue Man Group. Really? I didn't know that. Okay, Dwayne Brothers has actually painted himself blue, Columbia Blue, on air at Houston's Channel 11 in support of Houston Oilers. I didn't know he did that. Okay, the lies Egberto tells are sometimes just to misrepresent. Dan was speaking only for himself. Then you're more naive than I thought, my dear brother. Let's see. Michael Cisak says, Rudnan says, can't tell the difference between conspiracy pages and fact check. Egberto, you've got to be more critical. I get what you're saying, Rudnan, but you know what? I want all these people to continue listening. I want all these people to continue being here. So it's okay. How much Bernie policy came out in Jesse Jackson 1988 campaign for president? A lot. I remember those days as well. Here is a vital difference between us. You want to the force government to make people your idea. I want to give them the freedom. You don't want to give them the freedom to do anything, Mr. Ledoux. That is just the philosophy's lie. The truth of the matter is a society depends on interconnectivity. A society depends on trade-offs. A society determines a certain set of freedoms and a certain set of collectiveness. Okay? We have in our Constitution, that is the Bill of Rights, or the inalienable rights we have, things that the majority cannot take away from you. But for the majority of things, we live in a society. I wish many of you would understand that. A society cannot exist with absolute individualism. That's why even Ayn Rand, when she died on Social Security. Many people don't know that. She died on the dole. So come on, folks. It doesn't play reality. And I've yet to find a conservative who has not been on the dole. And in fact, most of Trump's supporters, not the wealthy ones, but most of his rank and file supporters are, guess what? On the dole. Folks, we're going to get out of here. But before I get out of here, I want to one more time ask you, please remember to go to store.politicsdoneright.com. Get a t-shirt, get a cup, get something. Go ahead and even get my book, As I See It, Class Warfare, the Only Resort to Right-Wing Doom. Because there you'd learn a whole lot about what I speak about all the time. And you know what? You really, really see. It's not crazy. It's humane. It's about humanity. That's what we care about. We care about people. You notice all these conservatives I have on my board? I love these guys too. You know, they may hate my guts, but they're still here. I don't hate them. I want to be a part of these guys as well. But anyhow, folks, we've got to get out of here. I want to remind all of you to please become subscribers. And you know how to become a subscriber. You can become a subscriber by going in there and going to Patreon. Oh, I didn't put it in there. Let me put that in there. To go to patreon.com/politicsdoneright. That is patreon.com/politicsdoneright. And of course, you can contribute at our PayPal by going to paypal.me/politicsdoneright. Look, guys, I respect your time. I thank you so kindly for being a part of the show today. Today, I should have been at KPFT 90.1 FM. It's Tuesday. But KPFT, because of coronavirus, is closed. I think they are supposed to be playing one of my other shows, a recap of one of my shows. But please remember, kpft.org is a great station as well to support. And the reason I'm flagging kpft.org now is today is really kpft.org's day. Thank you so kindly for having been here with me. Love you guys. Keep on listening. Keep on sharing. We all need to work together. My name is Egberto Willies, and you know how I end this, baby. I am what? Out! Welcome to Politics Done Right. I am your host, Egberto Willies. This is a progressive program that will take the mystery out of politics. This is the program that will encourage you to make sure government becomes we the people. Whether you are liberal, progressive, conservative, or otherwise, you get to air your point of view. We are an independent media outlet that, unlike mainstream media beholden to corporations, we only owe allegiance to you. Remember, you can also send me a tweet at EGBERTOWILLIES. That is at Egberto Willies. Let us engage. It is politics done right.